Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. This is the show that helps you become your best self. And today we are talking about, are you fulfilled? What it means to be fulfilled. But before we jump into that, as always, I want to invite you to come say hi to me on social media. I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo on both TikTok and Instagram. And I just recently, today or yesterday, hit over 1,000 followers on TikTok. So yay me. But it means that I actually have a link in bio over there and I'm able to go live. And I think that going live on TikTok will actually be fun. So we'll see. So come and join me over there or on Instagram. And you're also welcome to send me an email with any like questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topics, suggestions, whatever it is that you would like to share or talk to me about. I would love to talk to you about that or help you with that. So send me an email, realpositivegirlpodcast@gmail.com, and that information along with how to spell like what my handle is for both Instagram and TikTok are down in the show notes as well. The only things that I do want to bring up, I feel like lately, are joining the weekly newsletter, which comes out every Wednesday evening, that has just a couple things that are not generally shared on socials, just like some deeper therapy kind of type moments where we learn different lessons and random thoughts that I have, and then updates for whatever's coming out. And then also, I do want to remind you that the journal is still for sale. So if you are interested in getting a copy of Emotions Every Day, which is the planner journal hybrid that I created, that is a 3-month journal, you are welcome to click the link down there too. It did go back up to regular price with like a small shipping fee, but yeah, it's still a great thing to purchase if you want to work on your emotional health in a more guided sense. That's going to be really efficient and quick, but helpful. So, and then check out anything else that's down there in the show notes. But let's just go ahead and move right into the episode. Again, today we were talking about, are you fulfilled? What it means to be fulfilled. So I find it so absolutely amazing that we could go through life using words that we kind of know, what it means, but not really. I'm sure there's different words for different people and things that like what it is, but you don't know what it is. Like if someone were to be like, "Hey, can you spend 2 minutes talking about this?" You'd be like, "Absolutely not." I just know of it. I've heard of it. I understand the most basic concept of what you're talking about. And I've done it a lot, myself. But lately, I have started feeling very unauthentic when I like pretend I know exactly what something means. And this is actually a common trait that I have of like being a perfectionist and a people pleaser when I was really struggling with those things. Often people would talk and I would be so good at just like BSing back because like I would be like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. And because I didn't want people to look down on me, I didn't want people to think I was less than or not as smart because I didn't know what they were talking about. You know what I mean? And very problematic. I'm glad that that is not my problem. I slip back into that, but I am more aware of like, nope, just be like, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. And I used to be, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. But there's no reason to apologize, right? Because if there's, why would you be sorry about something you don't know? And obviously, you're giving them an opportunity to teach you. So, anyway, I think it's really important to be aware and just be like okay with not knowing something and then just giving someone an opportunity to share that knowledge with you. But yeah, so it doesn't take that much, like nowadays at least, to look up information if you have a smartphone or like a computer at home with internet access. And so it's just so much easier just to look it up really quick and be like, oh, okay, I understand. But it does feel kind of inauthentic to me to just say that, yeah, I know what you're talking about when I don't. And more, I've been like, if I'm in conversation and we're talking about something, or I'm just like online and I'm like, oh, I don't really know what that means. And I'll just like look it up. However, I am kind of a nerd and I like to research, which is part of the reason why I absolutely adore talking about mental health and mindset and emotional health here on the podcast and on socials because I like to do the research for you guys and then break it down so it's like easily, quickly digestible for you to use in your everyday life, like right now. You know what I mean? And so that whole thing of, really wanting to better understand things that I don't fully understand, that I just know on a very surface basic level, this is exactly how this topic came to be because I was reading an article about something, I don't remember what, that mentioned being fulfilled. And I actually went off on a tangent and got caught up thinking I don't really know what that means. Then saying, I feel other than like, saying I feel complete in some way, right? Like that's like where my brain was associating. It's like, okay, fulfilled, you feel complete, but that's like it. That was like the end of the journey for me. So, but I want to know what that means, like on a deeper level, to better determine if I'm actually experiencing it or not. Am I fulfilled or am I not? And that's often how my brain works. And I'm sure that's how some of your all's brains work, where you just get caught up in something and then you start doing research on it and you look into it. And it's just like you go off in this thing and you're trying to figure it out, right? And so a lot of people will equate um, fulfillment, which is what we're talking about. If I was not clear, but yeah, it's like I was reading that article, it talked about fulfillment, and I think also there have been many times. Sorry, I'm like backtracking really quick. There have been many times where I have brought up in the podcast talking about being fulfilled, and I realize now that I've never really gone any sort of like detailed chat about it. And I think it's helpful, especially when people throw it around all the time. They're like, oh, you need to be fulfilled. And you're like, okay, but what does that mean? Right. And even if you feel like you know what that means, and that's totally fine, maybe you'll be able to like learn some more about that in this episode. So a lot of people equate fulfillment with like happiness, right? But it's not like a direct synonym of happiness. It's not like you're gonna go down, you're not gonna pop like fulfillment in a thesaurus and happiness will show up. I mean, it might, but it's not like a direct synonym. It's not like a direct option, like just swap out. I do not believe, based on my research. Because when you are fulfilled, you can also be happy, right? A lot of the knowledge that I read was like you are feeling fulfilled and happy, right? They're going together, they are not necessarily the same. But, you can be happy, but there is something deeper there than just happiness. Fulfillment is deeper than happiness, right? Plus, as you may know, happiness can be like a temporary feeling. But that's not how fulfillment works. It's not just like a temporary thing. You can be happy that you had a really good cup of coffee, or you had a really great conversation with someone, or something amazing came in the mail today, right? You can be happy for these moments, and it's not always long lasting, right? Because our moods are just change. We can feel happy, we can feel sad, we can feel like neutral, and it's ever changing. But fulfillment is not like that. It's not this up and down roller coaster per se. And, fulfillment just isn't just the act of being successful at something or completing something either, because I'm sure that a lot of people equate feeling fulfilled with fulfilling a task or like a dream or some sort of aspiration that you are going towards, and you hit that end goal and you're like, oh my gosh, I am fulfilled. And it's not just that. It's not just like the success that you will reap in, like going through those goals. It's a combination of like your mental and emotional state with those accomplishments and like your dreams and aspirations. Like it's a whole like conglomerate kind of thing where it all comes together as one, right? And fulfillment has been defined as a combination of feeling content and satisfied, right? And I can really relate with fulfillment feeling like you're satisfied, the like ultimate satisfaction, because I just feel so like fulfilled. It just feels so like good. It feels so like, oh yeah, this is like the sweet spot of where I am. But yeah, it's like that combination of feeling content and satisfied while also being the total use of someone's abilities and talents. So if you're able to like work and do things in these abilities and talents that you have, it just feels so much more full, right? It feels complete. It feels so, 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 so good. And I think that's one of the reasons why I do feel like I truly feel fulfilled when I do the podcast, because I am able to use my abilities and talents to research and understand and break down and share information in a way that people like to and enjoy having it delivered. And it's just and I enjoy it, and it's fun, and it's so good. And of course, I want you to know that this will look different for like everyone, depending upon like what you personally value in life. And so for me in life, I do value like teaching and providing knowledge and helping people understand their mental health down to like in different like, you know, um, pockets of understanding, and like for your mindset and for your emotions. and how that's going to help you like day to day. And so I personally value like knowledge and helping other people with those struggles and those issues, right? But let's say that if you value like having a family, right? You want to have like a spouse and children, but you don't have any kids right now. You might not feel fulfilled, right? Because if you highly value like having a family and that is like your dream and your vision, which I think is a great one, if that's what you want, but you don't have kids, then you're not going to feel fulfilled, right? But if you value having like a steady, like a leadership position type of job, maybe it's like like a corporate kind of job, and that's what you want. And I say that because that actually used to be the kind of thing that I was searching for, and it turned out that it just wasn't right for me. It wasn't what I thought it was. That's what I'll say. But yes, if you value like a steady leadership position, you might feel fulfilled if you land a job that gives you those leadership opportunities and the comfort of knowing you're locked into that position, right? And they're like, "We like you. You're a good fit. You're going to be here for a long time." And you might feel fulfilled from that job. So it's not a cookie cutter formula, right? It's highly dependent upon what you personally value. So when you start to consider like, okay, am I fulfilled? You really need to be able to identify like, okay, what are your personal values? What do you value highly in life? What's really important to you? What's at the top of the list if you were to make one? And that'll help you better to understand if you are fulfilled or not, if you are not sure. You know what I mean? And when you are fulfilled, you have the clarity needed to know what you want in life. Like like it's you're not necessarily on this season of life where you're searching, where you're wandering, where you're unsure, right? Like it's crystal clear like what you want. And I'm not saying that everything, sorry, is necessarily crystal clear, but a lot of it is. Like the things that you're trying to go after and work towards. Those things are clear. You have defined like what your goals are and how you want to spend your life and what you need to do to be successful in your desires. You've taken the time to do the research and kind of like, have a plan. You have a loose plan at least. And you're also aligned with those goals, desires, and the direction in life you are moving. And when you are aligned with something, you're actually actively like you have a plan, you know what you need to do, you know the steps, you understand the parameters and the risks and this, that, and the other, right? You are actually aligned because you can't say that you're aligned with something, but you haven't done it. You don't have a plan, you haven't done any research, you haven't even taken any steps forward. It's just like you think that's going to be a great thing, and you might feel like your mind is aligned, but not everything else has come together for you to be like, yes, this is what I'm doing, right? It's still kind of like, oh, let's think about it in consideration kind of situation. And so, yeah, so you're going to be aligned. It's going to be clear. It's going to feel very like, yes, 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 this is what I need to do. And that's actually the way I felt when I started designing the planner journal hybrid that I created. I was like, yes, I'm very aligned. I know what I want. And it definitely went through a long design phase, but it was just like, yes, this is like the idea of what I want. These are the things I want to include, this, that, and the other, right? It felt very aligned. It felt very like, yes, it is fulfilling working on this project. But I want you to know that like everything doesn't need to be perfect or right for you to feel fulfilled. Again, like I was saying, like it's like not, it's going to be like all of the things together that are going to combine and help you like feel fulfilled, right? So not everything needs to be worked out so detailed, right? And I just want you to know that because I feel like you might think after me talking about this that you have to have everything perfect or like everything in its right place. And I'm not saying that at all. Like you can have like this feeling of being fulfilled while deep in your struggles because you are doing it all for like a reason that connects back to what you're working towards. So, my dream and goal was to create the planner journal, and I definitely had setbacks and I definitely had struggles and things that I needed to work through and like times where I felt like I got behind and all this stuff and things I needed to figure out and my own personal problems like woven in there, of course. But it still felt very aligned and I felt like that was a very fulfilling project and way to start off products in my brand because it was all connecting back to the what I'm working towards in that main goal. So hopefully that is helpful to you that yes, you need to be have clarity and you need to be connected and aligned, but everything doesn't have to be perfect and lining up right because maybe your personal life is a hot mess, but you are working on something like a project for your hobby or for your side hustle or the business that you're starting or for work or for like whatever it is. Like it can still be that mix of your life being up and down. And it's also important to note that you can change what contributes to you feeling fulfilled, right? You're not like locked in for life forever and ever and ever, because we all go through different seasons of life and things change. So it's natural that your goals and aspirations would change too, right? Like, absolutely. Absolutely. We're not going to be the same person forever. Also, wouldn't that just be like the most boring life? Like, no, we're going to change and adapt. It's okay if what you're doing now, like, no longer fulfills you, right? Like, let's just say that one day, or let's just say, like, this is an example that is not true, just so you know. Let's say that there was a point where I was just like playing the guitar and I loved it. So I learned how to play it on my own and I started playing it and writing songs or singing or doing whatever, right? And then one day I just realized, it just doesn't feel right anymore. It just doesn't feel good. And being very cognizant of the fact that you're not trying to slip out of this thing that was super fulfilling to you. You're not trying to slip out of it based on other people's opinions and thoughts, just so you know, or judgments, right? You're not allowing those to shift and change your mind. You just decided, this is no longer fulfilling and I need to move on. I'm going to move on to painting, right? Or whatever it is. Like it's natural. It's natural to change. So it's okay if what you're doing no longer fulfills you because we grow and change as people every single day. Maybe you aren't able to pinpoint it or see those things happening every single day, but they are. So what we want to do will change too. Of course, since we're changing as a person, what we want and what we desire will change as well. And your feelings of fulfillment will run deeper as you open yourself up more to like personal growth and becoming your best self every single day. So just know that like the more you grow and change and shift and discover or rediscover or shut down or close down or walk away from or whatever changes that are happening in your life, the things that fulfilled you might will probably change, and maybe they won't, but maybe they will. So just keep that in mind. You're not like locked in for life. But so before we go into some tips, I'm talking about how you can feel more fulfilled in life, like how you can actually start tapping into that. You might be asking, why is being fulfilled so important, Sabrina? And that's a valid question. Like you might be like, what's the point? Right? And ideally, I think I would have like maybe asked this question at the beginning, but that's not the way I wrote the episode. So hopefully you're still like, clocked in here listening. So yeah, why? Why is it important to be fulfilled? When you are fulfilled, you are more accepting of who you are and end up feeling more content with your life and everything that happens, whether it's good or bad, because it's all connected together. And you would think that I'm talking about something that's like really like woo woo, which is fine if you're into that. And like I feel like there's a couple things that I am that's like that, but I'm not. It's just like it is. It's all connected because it's all in your mindset, right? Your mind and your emotions, they're all connected together. And so, yeah, when you're fulfilled, you are more accepting of who you are because you understand how what you want and what your goals are and you being crystal clear on what those are and everything aligning, like that is important to you. And it is a strong belief and set and what am I trying to say? Like a strong belief and understanding in yourself of that is what you need to do. And so you are feeling less like you need to worry about what other people are thinking or saying of you, and it just feels so good, right? And I feel like one of the goals in life along with becoming our best self every day is to appreciate and accept ourselves as who we authentically are more and more every single day, especially if you struggle with that like myself. So you'll have like more clarity on what's important to you and will really be tapping into that self-worth with caring less again about what other people think or say in regards to what you're doing with your life. So yeah, so you'll be more accepting, yeah, you'll be more content and you'll have more clarity on what's going on and you'll increase your self-worth. And I feel like those are definitely really important things that contribute to being like why being fulfilled is important and something that we can all like totally benefit from. Okay, so I have some tips on how you can feel more fulfilled in your life. But before we go into that, as always, I want to say that all of these tips are based on my own knowledge and research and my own personal experience and the experiences of others that I'm allowed to share. If you find that this list of tips does not align with what you believe is true for you, I encourage you to seek out a counselor or a therapist because you can do that one on one work and figure that out. Or you can go to our best friend, go ahead, say it out loud together, Google, and just type in like how to feel more fulfilled in life. It'll give you so many articles, probably some that I've read as well, and research and understanding, and you can go from there. Okay, so let's just start on the list. Okay, so here are some tips on how you can feel more fulfilled in life. Um, Kind of in a particular order, take it as you want. Okay, so number one is live life as your authentic self. I wanted to put this one first because I think if you just go from the jump of being who you truly are, being your authentic self, it'll be a lot easier to do everything else. Because if you did that in the middle or at the end, then I feel like you're kind of like doing the other like tips that I'm going to give you out of order and not wholeheartedly, not as honest and truthful as you could. You know what I mean? So I want you to just be aware and be like fully aware of like who you are, what you're doing, how you're living your life. So tap into being your most authentic self. And if you do struggle with that, I do have an episode. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I will try to remember to pop it into the show notes below. If you need help on how to become your most authentic self, really tap into who you are underneath the surface of needing validation and, low self worth and struggling with, you know, um, worrying about other people's opinions and what they think of you and all those things, right? And I understand that because I struggle with those things as well. So start off with living your life as authentic as you can because that is a direct connection to feeling fulfilled because you're being who you were created and meant to be, your natural self, I would say, as opposed to like a fabricated self that is only doing it to try to play the games in life, which I feel like you can be authentic and like play the game to the best of your abilities, but you don't need to have that mask on full time. And let me tell you, I'm very familiar with the mask. Okay, so number two is leave your comfort zone. You got to leave it. You got to step outside of it. You got to try to overcome, not overcome, I don't like using that word. You got to try to push through any sort of fear that you have in trying something new and doing something risky and trying something that could be really scary, that you could fail and you could just feel so embarrassed and all of these things, right? Just being honest. So you got to leave your comfort zone, right? To have the fulfillment that you desire, you will have to do a lot of things that you're not used to because you are going after that goal and dream and going on that journey and you've never been there before, right? And so you need to push through all the different things that are tied to that, right? I would say, okay, let's give you an example, right? Leaving your comfort zone. So for me, writing something and producing a product totally outside of my comfort zone, right? Because the most product I would say that I provide is the podcast and then content on social media. I have made like a couple e-guides online. I don't really consider those products, like they're just like whatever's. And so I had to leave my comfort zone of telling people about the journal. First of all, that was very uncomfortable. It still is to me today, even though I am selling them, which is great. But I'm constantly leaving my comfort zone every single day to share that with people. So that was part of it. Also, telling my business accountability group about it. That was a big deal. I had to leave my comfort zone for that. I had to leave my comfort zone for telling my husband like how much this investment was going to cost. I had to leave my comfort zone in showing people my designs online and showing people that are close to me and having some of them just not care and not be into it and other people being like, oh yeah, that's really cool, and being really supportive. So I had to leave my comfort zone a lot to create the journal and it was a good experience. And I think when I create the next product, it'll be a good experience and I'll continue to leave my comfort zone more and more. And so it won't feel as scary the next time. And so that's what you need to do. You need to be able to step outside of your comfort zone and and figure out like what you need to do. Like if you do value, I value helping people and I want to help people through products and items that they can use on their own to do it at their own pace. And maybe you value having a family, which means if you are not dating anyone, then you have to step outside your comfort zone and start dating so you can hopefully eventually find that person to connect with and be together and get married and have kids and have that family that you desire. Or if you want that big corporate job, you have to start applying for jobs. You have to, or maybe you need to get promoted in your current job. You need to figure out the work that you need to do to accomplish those goals and, get to that stage of feeling fulfilled through those things. But it will require you to leave your comfort zone to do scary things. Okay, number three. Number three is clearly define what matters to you. So, really try to spend some time writing it down, whether it's on a piece of paper or on your phone, a voice note, whatever. You need to clearly define like what matters to you. So, like I said before, you need to understand like what do you highly value? And I highly value personally, I highly value knowledge and teaching and understanding, right? And helping others. And so that is really important to me, and I would write that down. And then goals, like my goal would be like I need to be able to write 2 books in the next year and come out with normal planners and normal journals, and then also um, I think like there was other stuff I can't remember, like other things that I wanted to, but I'm trying to keep it slow. But yeah, and those are like my goals, and what kind of accomplishments do I want? Do I want to be on like New York Times bestseller list, right? And so you need to clearly define what matters to you, like what your goals are, your accomplishments that you want. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Your abilities, right? Like what are your abilities? What are your skills? What what relationship matter to you and why? And really get down to the nitty-gritty, because again, once you figure out like what you value and what's important to you and what matters, then you'll be able to figure out how to be fulfilled in knowing like what direction you need to focus in and go so that you can have those accomplishments and those goals completed and just feeling so good about those things and working towards other things, right? So you need to clearly define like what matters to you so that you can go after those things and get that feeling of fulfillment. Number four, this is a classic. It's a classic. Oh, okay. I'm gonna count to three. You can guess. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Don't compare yourself to others. If you got it, you're a winner. And if you didn't get it, you're still a winner. It's okay. It's just a silly little guessing game. No one's winning a prize except for, well, you can pat yourself on the back if you did guess that. So don't compare yourself to others, okay? And this is tough, right? I do this all the time. I struggle. I still struggle with this. I do. Don't compare yourself to others because it's not going to be helpful in living as your authentic self, right? Because the more that you are living as your authentic self, the less you will care what other people are doing and whether you are doing the same or not. So it's important that you don't get caught up in that. You just realize that what you're doing is important and what they're doing is important to them. And then for what you're doing to you, right? And it'll also like get you lost in what you think you should do and what you think will be fulfilling because you just want to do what they're doing and live your life how they're living because you're just living in that life of comparison. And it's a waste of time, to be honest with you. I'm telling you, because you want to be like them, and there's no way you're going to be exactly like them. And there's no way for you to actually know exactly how they got to where they are. You might think you do because maybe they have said it, but oh, they probably left things out. I'm telling you, they definitely left things out. So just consider that. Don't compare yourself to others. There's no reason, there's no benefit. You're not getting anything from it. It's not helping, it's only hurting. Number 5, don't fight mistakes and failures. Now, I say it so often that I made it into a sticker, okay? At mistakes and failures are the best learning lessons. The best. Don't fight them. Don't fight them. There's no use because we're all going to go through mistakes and failures. And yes, some people might project their feelings onto you and try to, get you to feel shameful or guilty of having mistakes and failures because it's their own insecurities on display of feeling like it's unacceptable to have those things for them. So they have to pass that on to you because they are not taking the time to deal with their own emotions. And there's no reason to be shameful or feel bad about that because mistakes and failures, again, are the best learning lessons. You will learn so much from the mistakes that you make, and then you'll know what's not going to work and what's going to work or what could work again. Try something again. It's an adventure. And then failures, yeah, just because something doesn't work doesn't mean you can't try again. And then if the door does slam in your face, okay, great. We'll just find another door, find something else. And yes, it does sound way more simple than it actually is. Most things are. But if you're able to think about it like that in your mind, then it feels simple and you can kind of adopt that energy. I really like whenever the video for this comes out, you're going to be like, ooh, you were dancing there in that. um, yeah, you're gonna like, I don't even know what I was talking about, but yeah, so failures. Oh, yeah, failures, they're so good, right? You're just gonna you're if oh yeah, that's right. Okay. So if you just think about that in your mind, how it is that simple. It is that simple to just like try again, doesn't work. Okay. Let's find something else to move on to. Like where else should we go? Where are we actually supposed to be? Because maybe we weren't supposed to be here and we were supposed to be somewhere else. We just didn't realize it because we were trying to force something to happen. We're trying to make it happen when it wasn't supposed to happen. You know what I mean? So don't fight mistakes and failures. They're going to happen no matter what. Everyone experiences them. If they say they aren't, they are lying. They're lying, lying, liar, lying. They're lying. Okay? Don't believe them. Number 6 out of 7. Number 6, practice gratitude. Super duper classic. I feel like I haven't talked about it in a while. Mm, well, if I'm wrong about that, someone let me know. But practice gratitude. When you are leaning into what you are grateful for rather than continuing to point out what you don't have and what is not going right, you will feel more content, right? You'll feel less like you're living in your pit of despair because you are actually like, oh, okay, well, I'm really grateful. Like, even in the struggles of struggles, right? Right now, we're in the middle of moving and it sucks. It's not fun. You don't look forward to moving. I'm not ready to move. I was feeling ready to move and now I'm like, not. And I'm like, crap, I got a lot of work to do. But I am in the middle of this. I am just being grateful. I'm like, okay, I'm super grateful that I'm going to get like a bigger office. And so I can really transform it into like a workspace slash like a YouTube studio slash little like chill hangout area slash um, fashion closet. It's kind of that's what it's going to be. And I'm grateful that I'm going to get that. And I'm grateful that we're moving into a home where we get to, pour our own money back into paying that mortgage and, getting equity in our house as opposed to paying someone else's mortgage, which is what we've been doing when we were renting here. However, I'm super grateful that we were able to rent in this house because we were able to find a really nice house to rent compared to a lot of the other houses that we had seen previous to this one. I am super grateful that we've had about like a whole like week, 2 weeks to slowly move a lot of our stuff over. So it's not going to be this whole big thing when the guys come to move the rest of the stuff. So you just got to like lean into gratitude even when things are really hard or stressful or just a lot. You got to find those things. And it's not like you're not wading in the pool of toxic positivity, which is gross. You're not like, "Oh my gosh, everything is sunshine and rainbows," even though I am in so much emotional pain. No, you're just like, yeah, this really sucks, but also I am grateful for these things. It's like the silver lining. It's the little positive moments. I like to call them like positive moments here and there. It's like just pop it in here, popping in here and there. It's amazing. So make sure that you're practicing gratitude. Make sure that you're like, okay, like come up with like 3 things every day, even if they're really small. Like, I'm grateful that I can afford to pay this overpriced amount for a cup of coffee or like your morning breakfast or whatever it is. Or maybe you're grateful that, a lot of things were on sale at the grocery store, so you saved money. Or maybe you're grateful that you get to go hang out with friends. You get to go to that restaurant that you love. You're grateful that you're going to go on a really cool work trip. You're grateful that your friend's coming into town. Like all these things. They don't have to be these grandiose things of like, I'm grateful for a roof over my head. Now, granted, I am grateful for that. And we should all be grateful for that. But our gratitude doesn't always have to reflect only those things. It should be included, but it can be the smallest of things. Did you find $1 in your jeans after you washed them? Yeah, you're grateful for that. It's another dollar towards your coffee, your drink of choice in the morning. Practice gratitude. Okay, number 7 and the last one, let's wrap it up, is to contribute or slash make a difference towards something you feel connected to. This is attached kind of to gratitude because you want to be able to give back, and that can feel so fulfilling on its own. I will say that when I am able to sing on the worship team, which I was supposed to sing today because today's Sunday and that's when I record the Monday podcast, I feel really fulfilled. I feel so good. I feel so grateful that I'm able to be on the team and I sing well enough to be on the team and I get to worship and help be that example in the congregation for others to feel comfortable to raise their hands and worship the Lord. And it feels great. And I love it. I absolutely love it. And that's why I continue to volunteer in that spot at church. And there is other times where I volunteer, like before COVID, our church used to do this thing where we would have people come and you have to apply before, but they would come and get Christmas presents. And then so they would pick out the Christmas presents in one room and then they would send those presents to be wrapped. And I would always volunteer for a wrapping station. I wonder if we're going to do that again this year. But they've kind of scaled back where they still give gifts, but there's not as many people there because of, the pandemic that happened. But that was like a way for me to contribute and give back to others. And I loved it. I loved wrapping gifts for people. And also the challenge of what came through and being like, how am I going to wrap this up so it looks good? So just find something that you can do. So even if it's just like helping out a friend that needs help or someone in your family, or maybe it's volunteering in a capacity that's like at a church or at some sort of like shelter, or maybe it's like at some sort of community center or at your kid's school or whatever it is. Find a way to give back, find a way to make a difference. Maybe you're going to donate meals to something, right? And so you can have that connection of like giving back and feeling fulfilled because you're helping someone else with the abilities and skills that you have. And that just feels so good. It just feels so good. So, those are all the tips that I have on how you can feel more fulfilled in your life. I hope that was helpful. And I hope the breakdown of understanding what fulfillment is was helpful as well. So, you can better understand that when you're going through your life and like, yeah, I want to feel fulfilled or I am fulfilled. So, but that's it. So, thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. Again, with me, Sabrina. Thank you so much for downloading, sharing, listening to the show. I appreciate every single one of you. It's amazing. Thank you. Check the show notes for everything. Like I said, come say hi to me on social media. Send me an email. Sign up for the newsletter. Buy a journal for you or someone else. Check everything else out. That is down there. There's even a text community. Some people have signed up, and I haven't done anything with it yet, but I will soon. So that's it, though. Until next time, have a good one, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.